Hello Leo, how are you doing? So this week is for the 13th of January to the 19th of January. We're going to do a weekly horoscope and then we're going to pull a tarot. So Leo, you might be feeling a little bit less angry now that Mars is not retrograding in your sign. However, Mars is now retrograding in Cancer, which is kind of affecting everybody really because it's very sort of emotional. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, so it is very passive aggressive and a little bit melodramatic. When a baby screams and you're like, you're being melodramatic, darling. Like, you don't need to be screaming so loudly in the shop in front of everybody at 3 p.m. So it comes across like that. But on the 13th of January, we have a Cancer full moon in your 12th house of mental health. So the moon rules Cancer, so it's already going to be more emotional. But of course, it is conjunct Mars retrograding in Cancer. And then you have a trine with Neptune and Pisces as well. So everyone's feeling a little bit sort of dreamy and a bit levitating and crying at the same time. And, there's a lot of metaphor here, basically. In the 12th house, this for you could be a deeply sensitive letting go of something to do with your mental health. You're deciding to take a new approach with your mental health. You could be ending therapy or starting therapy. I hate to say it because it fearmongers a little bit, but in the 12th house with the moon so sensitive as this, could be a little bit of a breakdown. It doesn't have to be a massive breakdown, but you could be like, I can't do this anymore. And then it's like, yeah. I feel like I needed that emotional upheaval. I needed to just scream into a pillow and then move on. And then also just for my own personal note, on the 14th to 15th, I would just be a little bit careful about who you're talking to because things can come off deeply personal and you're like, what did you mean by that? You've already had the fisticuffs from Mars being in your sign. So I think it's a good time to just distance yourself for a couple of days if you can. Obviously, if you're in a very sort of customer-facing environment, you can't. But if you can take some time, please do. On the 18th, Venus will be in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces in your 8th house of shared finances, investments, and physical intimacy. So you're taking responsibility here and a much more of a mature approach when it comes to your investments. You're thinking, I really got to save money for my retirement. I have to make the right investments. I have to save money for debt or to be able to feel more stable in the future, especially if I'm wanting to buy a house with a partner, for example, or share money with someone in the future. I know that I need to get more mature about this approach. You could also be thinking more about trusting people and saying, look, this is how life goes. Maybe I was betrayed before, but I need to think more about taking a more mature approach with this now as well. On the 19th, the Sun enters Aquarius, which is your sister sign, Leo, in the 7th house of committed relationships. So this is great harmony with committed relationships. It's also a focus on innovation to me because Aquarius is entrepreneurial, it's humanitarian. So this is about showing up for your relationships a little bit more. And that's whether you're either in a committed relationship now or you want to be in one. It's good harmony. It's kind of like doing things in a more unique approach. So you could, if you're not in a relationship now, think more about switching your requirements for a partner up a little bit. Or, even the way you're meeting them is different this time. And you have good harmony with that as well. So, Leo, let's pull a tarot card for that. Whoop. Queen of Cups. I like this energy. Queen of Cups. Yeah, I like Queen of Cups. It's a very warm, motherly energy. Actually, I think it works really well with, the 12th house of mental health and kind of looking after yourself in this moment. It's also a sort of attached feeling as well. So you could be letting go of something that you felt you were attached to mentally. But generally, this is a nice, warm, I would say it's a nurturing energy. So, I was mentioning about, focusing on those committed relationships, but also looking after your mental health. I think there's an energy of nurturing yourself. I think this is well deserved as well, Leo, after the Mars retrograding in Cancer. So look after yourself. Have a nice hot bath if you can. Little piece of chocolate. Something that you like, and it doesn't have to be major, but makes you feel good, makes you feel nurtured. If you have a female figure in your life that you feel close to and you feel nurtured by, then that might be helpful as well. Might need just a little bit of a hug from a lady close to you, if you can. So Leo, that was your reading. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will move on to Virgo. Hello Virgo. So this is the weekly horoscope from the 13th of January to the 19th of January. We're going to do a horoscope and then we're going to pull a little tarot card to kind of pull the theme of the week together. So Virgo, on the 13th of January, you have a Cancer full moon in the 11th house. So this is social networking, friendships, community. So the moon rules Cancer, so it's already more sensitive. It's also trining Neptune and Pisces, which is very dreamy and spiritual. And it's also conjunct Mars retrograding in Cancer, which doesn't go well together. It's in its fall. So this is together very emotional, passive aggressive, room for a very emotional letting go of something, or maybe even a breakthrough. So you could be letting go of a friendship, or maybe even reframing it. You could have a breakthrough with that friendship. Could be like you have a fight and then it's all good, sensitive. I don't know why I always like that. There could be a period of ending a mentorship or something you had with social networking with your job, or you could be having a sensitive energy with letting go of some kind of community that you've been part of, whether that is because of things going on in the world right now or your own kind of decision. On the 14th to 15th, this is more of a personal note from me to you. It's a good time to take some space for yourself because things will be deeply personal, and it's not a good time to be flying off the handle with everything that is so sensitive right now. On the 18th of January, Venus in Pisces will be conjunct Saturn in Pisces in your 7th house of committed relationships. So you're taking responsibility and a much more mature approach about your committed relationships now. The 7th house is going to be a very big theme for you, Virgo, this year, for obvious reasons. The North Node in Pisces has just gone into the 7th house for you, and it will be there till summer 2026. You also have a lot of focus on the 7th house. And of course, Venus in Pisces in the 7th house right now, which is great for committed relationships and excelling and strengthening a relationship you have now, or if you're not in one, getting more mature about what you want and saying, I really want this commitment from somebody. I don't want a boy anymore. I want commitment. On the 19th, the Sun enters Aquarius in your 6th house of work environment and co-workers, but also physical health. So this is great harmony with that, but also with that Aquarius sign, it's a focus on innovation and doing things more uniquely. So you could be deciding to take a different approach with your co-workers and your work environment and saying, I'm going to mix this routine up a bit. It could also be that you are mixing up a routine with your wellness space, your physical gym routine, and maybe things weren't working out for you, but now you start the new year, you're like, I'm going to change things up a little bit and see how this is going to work. I just recently started red light therapy, and this is much more unique for me. I don't normally sit in front of a red light panel, so something like that where you're mixing things up. So let's get a tarot. And I think that North Node going into Pisces and the South Node in your first house of self is going to cause some kind of deep introspection, not only with yourself, but also about, having self-compassion. You're being called, Virgo, to have self-compassion for yourself. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Your head's not going to get chopped off. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about cultivating the love within for yourself. Whoop. 7 of Wands. This is all about kind of perceiving that deception is coming your way, or kind of awaiting that something's going to go wrong. I think that really works when it comes to, having to almost protect yourself spiritually now that the South Node is in your sign, Virgo. I think there's an element of not only are you wanting to protect yourself and kind of be more mature about things, but it's also a link to, finding your footing with the passion that you have in life. I want to link this all to the weekly horoscope, so I'm taking some time to think here. The 7th house of committed relationships, and then the 7 of Wands, we've both got 7s here. You could think about this being that Venus in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces in your 7th house is all about trying to get so mature about your approach to committed relationships, so you protect yourself from going through the cycle of, God, I never know what's going to come at me. I just want the stability. This to me is all about just wanting the stability, and there is an element, you see this little beaver is being protected from all the onslaught coming. Yeah, like there's bits of fire and it's not great. The South Node in your side is a little bit dicey. There's a couple of astrologers that will tell you that. But you're trying your hardest to protect yourself, and you're doing that in a very mature approach. So I think there's an element here of getting very serious about protecting your energy and going in a direction of stability that will help you in the future. You're an earth sign, you're already going to try to be more stable. So get more stable, and then you might feel like you're more trusting. That's the kind of energy that I feel that is coming through here. Okay, Virgo, I hope you have a lovely week, and I shall move on to Libra. Hi Libra, how are you doing? So this is the weekly horoscope from the 13th of January to the 19th of January, and let's just get into it. So on the 13th of January, we have a Cancer full moon in your 10th house. You are a cardinal sign, so this full moon may affect you a little bit more as well. The moon rules Cancer, so this is already going to be quite sensitive. It is conjunct Mars retrograding in Cancer, another transit that's affecting you as a cardinal sign. So this could be a very sensitive letting go of something to do with your 10th house of career, or the way that you are being perceived by the public. It could be something to do with your reputation, for example, depending on what kind of person you are. So this isn't necessarily getting fired or anything like that. I think a lot of people always think that. This is more something that you're doing. So you could be deciding to end a project at work, or thinking about moving on to a new element of your career, especially given that the new year's just started and we think a lot about resolutions. And on the 14th to 15th, just my own personal note, you might want to take some time for yourself and distance yourself from others, because what can be said to you and what you say to others is a little bit more personal. And with Mars retrograding in Cancer right now, it could be a little bit dicey. On the 18th, Venus in Pisces will be conjunct Saturn in Pisces in your 6th house of work environment, co-workers and physical health. So if we link that to the Cancer full moon and the 10th house, in which you're letting something go with a career in a more sensitive manner, you're taking more responsibility here with this Saturn in Pisces conjunction. So you're becoming more mature, or taking a more mature approach when it comes to your work environment with co-workers, maybe taking the higher ground a little bit more, or you're getting really responsible and serious about a physical health routine. Libra, this year specifically, you're focusing a lot on wellness, reducing inflammation, sorting out chronic illnesses. So you are going to be focusing a lot on your wellness routine. So it would make sense that you're taking much more of a serious approach to this now, because it's not one to play with. On the 19th, we have a Sun entering Aquarius in your 5th house of dating, creativity, and children. A beautiful house and a lovely Sun sign as well. So this is good harmony, but also a focus on innovation and having a bit more of a unique approach with either dating, so going on dates with people you wouldn't normally, or maybe doing things a little bit differently in the dating scene, maybe going out to different places you wouldn't normally. You could be doing more creative things, something you have never done before. You're starting a new hobby. You're like, yeah, I'm going to start playing the drums. And it's just like, okay. Or, pottery, ceramics, something like that, where it's like not something you're used to doing. You could also just having a really nice time with children, spending time with children, or thinking more about focusing on children as well. So overall, it's actually quite a focus on career and wellness this week. So let's pull a tarot card for you, Libra. If we can get one. Oh, we got one. It's actually the Chariot in reverse. Okay, so this is a delay. Experiencing a delay with something. This makes sense with the 10th house of career if we look at that, because the Chariot is normally about advancements and accomplishments in your career, moving forward with a scholarship, generally very, very, very fast paced and fiery. To have this in reverse, it is more of an air sign. It's more slow moving, more of a glacial pace. So yeah, you could be experiencing some delay with career, and then that frustrates you and you have a bit more of a sensitive kind of release with that. If you don't have a career, for example, you're retired or you're unemployed at the moment, this could be more about the way that you are being perceived by people around you, family members, the public, the community that you're in. And we can also link this to the 6th house of co-workers as well, in which you might be experiencing some kind of delay with physical health physical health with, you know, trying to get your health on check as well. So there's generally just a delay here, and I think that makes sense as well because it is more of a glacial pace for this week as well, Libra. So I hope you have a lovely week and you enjoyed that reading, and I will move on to Scorpio. Hello Scorpio, how are you doing? So this is the weekly horoscope for the 13th of January to the 19th of January. And Scorpio, you might find that you're a little bit more sensitive than normal because Mars is retrograding in Cancer currently, where it's in its fall. You are in modern astrology ruled by Mars, so you might find that you're a little bit more frustrated. So actually, Scorpio, on the 13th of January, we have a Cancer full moon, and it's going to be in your 9th house of study, travel, and philosophy. So the moon rules Cancer, and this will make it a little bit more emotional. We also have it conjunct that Mars retrograde in Cancer, which is affecting you. And it's also trining Neptune in Pisces as well. So there is an element of sort of emotions and dreams and things in the mix here. In the 9th house, this could be a breakthrough or some kind of emotional release of something to do with a study program, for example, or some kind of knowledge that you're gaining. Maybe some of you are giving up on learning that language and thinking, I need to move to something else. It could be traveling, you know, you are ending a period of travel, or you're deciding that you need to get more stable, so you're ending, you know, going on as many trips. You could also be focusing on a breakthrough with your spirituality and your wellness routine as well. And just a side note from my own personal experience here, on the 14th to 15th, it's a really good time to take some time off and distance yourself from others, because there can be some very sort of deeply personal elements here to the way you talk to people and the way they talk to you. And it can be a little bit like, what do you mean by that? And analysis goes crazy. So just be careful there. On the 18th, Venus in Pisces will be conjunct Saturn in Pisces in your 5th house of dating and creativity and children, which is a house that you will see a lot this year, Scorpio. So you're taking responsibility with either children that you already have or wanting children, kind of trying to get something together in the home. You're also taking a more mature approach to dating, either thinking, I want to date for marriage, for example. I don't want to be going on a string of dates that's just fun. Or you're getting very serious about a hobby or something creative that's going to really edify your life. I think edify is the word there. Maybe enrich is a better word. Enrich your life. So it's quite a good transit for maturity. Then on the 19th, the Sun enters Aquarius in your 4th house of home and family. So as I just talked about, you know, getting a bit more serious with children, we do have this home and family house. Just good harmony. Aquarius is also very humanitarian and community-based, but it's also very unique and innovative. So taking a more a nurturing approach, perhaps with home and family, or you're deciding to flip things up in your home, for example, decorating, you know, having interesting little pieces of decor, or deciding to switch up what you're doing with your sort of family and your friends, especially if we link that to the Cancer full moon in the 9th house, where you're kind of trying to release something to do with being here, there, and everywhere. It's all about the 4th house of stability. So you're trying to get more mature with stability, but you're trying to do it in a unique way so that you don't feel trapped. There's kind of an energy there. But let's get a tarot reading, and let's get one card for Scorpio for the theme of the week. We've got the Empress in reverse. It's so interesting, as I just mentioned about children and family. This is actually the opposite. So I think this is why you're maybe having a more mature approach with this, because maybe you've neglected it, or it's something that's not been happening for you. So normally upright, this is like great for children. It's a person that knows their oats. They have a really high self-concept. This could suggest a low self-esteem, having issues with the family life. But also this is getting very frustrated at your own sort of, I don't want to say deception of self, but like feeling like you are not being true to yourself in certain ways. So you need to kind of come back to the roots of who you are and your family and your home. So I think it makes a lot of sense with that 5th house and 4th house energy this week that you would get the Empress in reverse. So if you can, try and focus on what really matters to you with the home and family, and how you can take a more sensible approach to that as well. So that makes sense. Okay, Scorpio, I hope you have a lovely week, and I shall move on to Sagittarius.